Howdy boys and girls, today is the last day of February. I'm still inside my car. I'm still driving a car. Actually getting anxious to switch to something bigger. You know, I've been driving this car alone for the past, since December, I don't know, 17th, you know. Anyway, just wanted to give you guys an update and show you my new purchases. Just picked up this little package here. Jesus, keep trucking. So I assume this is the ELD, and on the package there was a sticker said COD, driver pick up this amount. And I asked him, I said, so what is this? And they said, well, he didn't tell us anything. So the guy didn't pick up any money. But I look at the paper, and of course it has my name. You know, I'm the importer, and the invoice is issued by UPS. And you don't want to mess with UPS because you don't pay. And it was $12. I'm just trying to open this with a pen. Basically, I think what they did, like, there's no value for this, like for myself, right? Because they don't charge you for the hardware. They only charge you for the subscription. Kind of like, you know, when you get a free phone and you just start paying monthly fees, right? So that's the deal here. Jesus. And that's my understanding is that's how most companies do it, like this. What is this? A love letter. Ship to SERGEI DRATCHEV heavy haul. Sold to SERGEI DRATCHEV heavy haul. Okay. Made in China. Value $120 US electronic login device. $10 US cable set. Device hardware is not for resale. Oh, I think it's my customs invoice, I guess. That's what they showed to probably customs. Anyway, so I just paid them this. It was $12.60, and it doesn't say Canadian or US, but it was shipped from, actually, looks like it was shipped from, they're right here somewhere, in New York. Yeah, I think it was like Amherst, you know, Amherst, New York. Which is, oh, that's just UPS, okay. So this was just the fee from UPS brokerage. And it says here, shipper, keep trucking, Amherst, New York. Oh, wait a second. So keep trucking is actually New York. That's pretty cool. You know, they're not far. So if I'm really confused how to use this baby, I can pay them a visit. Alright, so what else? How do you open this? This thing. I hate when I do it like this. So basically I have to break the sides. Alright. Finally. So that's what it looks like. So two sections over here. We got 2 kilometers of cable. Alright, so I guess one goes into my ECM computer on the dash, and the other one goes into this other gadget. This is a real heavy-duty cable. This is some anti-moisture packet. And I watched a bunch of videos about this because, you know, it's a new app for me. I never used it even on when it was a standalone app, but I downloaded it on my tablet. So I'm going to use my LG 7-inch tablet. But they were showing how to install this, and Basically this just goes somewhere around your dash, and then the actual device will be on the dash. Or they even give you little zip ties, you know. And then this is the instruction manual for drivers. That's what you get. Instruction manual for drivers. You get safety manual. They call this sheet safety manual. Please read this safety manual before installing the Keep Tracking. Okay, I'll make sure I do that. So this, I guess, goes on my truck. Driver using electronic logbook so that, you know, DOT and MTO does not give me a hard time. Cool. And then this is a very cool thing. You have to keep it in your truck. This is called DOT reference card, you know. So if a cop stops you and they never worked with Keep Tracking ELD before, so they just, oh, sorry, that's the card, and it's like all laminated, you know, like very heavy duty. It just tells them how to, basically I just give the guy, I disconnect my tablet, and that's one of the things I like about my ELD, my future ELD. Like a friend of mine drives for Landstar, you know, and their ELD, you cannot disconnect it, right? It just solidly mounted. It's like People's Net, I think they're using. But this one, I'm using a regular tablet, so it's real easy for me. Just open that bracket, like the tablet will be sitting like this in the bracket. I'm using my old bracket that I, you know, in the Mac that I use for Google Maps. And so it's real easy. I just push one button in the back, and I can just take the tablet, give it to the guy, to the DOT officer, together with this thing, and he can, you know, check all the info, because it has the same power, the same thing as a regular paper log, you know. I like this, you know. Okay, now for the big tamale. Wow, this is it. See? So it has these in the back, sticky surfaces, right? So I guess I'll just stick it, and that's I guess USB. Oh yeah, because one cool thing about this is that you don't have to use Bluetooth, right? If for some reason it failed, you can hook up a cable in here, except that I didn't buy that cable. You have to buy it separately, but you can, this is probably the only ELD, I think, well, out of the few ones I looked at, where your tablet or your phone can be connected with a USB cable. So this way you don't have to use Bluetooth. The problem is, like at least for me, that my tablet just runs out of juice, you know, pretty fast. Like if I'm reading a book, you know, like an ebook, or I'm just checking my email, it's fine. But as soon as I start using it for, let's say, Google Maps, you know, it's, I don't know, 2 hours maybe, and that's it. So the battery is much smaller than, let's say, in a laptop, or it's much less powerful than, I think, even in a smartphone. Maybe even probably it's the same battery size, but because the screen is bigger, it takes more juice out of the battery, you know, each minute. And so because of this, I cannot use the USB cable. Otherwise I would have ordered it, because I know that I have to keep my tablet pretty much always plugged in. Like when I see it, the battery reaches 100%, okay, I unplug it. But if it's you know, anywhere like 30, 50, 60, and it takes forever to charge it. And by the way, that's another thing I'll have to check with a new truck, because on the Mac I had a USB port, you know, in the dash, and I was charging the tablet not through the 12-volt adapter, but through the USB port. And of course that one is very weak in terms of power, so it takes forever. And so yes, I'm going to use this as a Bluetooth connected device. And there's 2 lights in here, and I watched the videos, and so one light, this one, will light up green when you hook it up to your ECM. So that means that the ELD found the connection. It can sense the data from your truck, so that's how it detects when you start moving, because this thing will automatically put you into on duty, non-driving if you stop, and then you can change it to off duty, or it'll automatically put you into on duty driving when you start driving. I think it's if your speed reaches 5 miles per hour, 8 kilometers an hour. And so this light is really important. So that means that the ELD is properly connected to the truck's computer. And then this second light here, that's your Bluetooth connection. So again, I did my research. I watched a bunch of videos. Don't want to, the first day when you start using it can be very frustrating, right? But that's what so left light ECM, right line Bluetooth. So if it's green, there's a great connection. And another cool thing about this ELD, I read some problems that people are having, because some of these, like different makes, they use a cellular connection, where your phone or your tablet just uses the data, internet, to connect to this. And the problem is, like, you go somewhere to Iowa, like when I'm in US, my phone is using AT&T or T-Mobile, and there's no coverage, and that's, what do you do then? And so this thing, I was reading through their frequently asked questions. First of all, of course, it uses Bluetooth, which is supposed to be more reliable than a cell phone network, and plus, especially, it'll be very close. Probably, like, my tablet will be, I don't know, 1 foot, 2 feet away from this. But also, they said the actual ELD does not need cell phone connection all the time. It just kind of like checks it periodically, because it uses GPS for your location. That does not need cell data, right? Most of the time. So basically, if you lose connection with your cell phone network, this thing will still log you. It'll still work, So I think that's why they say it's like number one, And like I said, I was looking at Canadian big road, and somehow I was not convinced that I can trust them, because this thing pretty much can kill your income. If it does not work properly, and it logs you, let's say, on duty when you're sleeping, and you wake up in the morning and you have 0 hours to drive, and then you go through a scale, the guy gives you like a $500 ticket. This is serious stuff. So I need this to be super reliable. Otherwise I cannot do my job. I cannot hold loads, right? But one thing I noticed with these is that there's much less stress now when going through a DOT inspection, because usually they just ask you, how do you keep your logs? Electronically or paper? As soon as they say electronically, they just lose all interest, because they know that this is so much more accurate, so much more precise, and also, I have an access through the web page, right? And on the web page, I can see right away violations. If there's any violations, they're highlighted in red. And also on the tablet, I can see if let's say I forgot to sign the previous log, at the end of the day, like a digital signature, it'll tell me, hey, missing signature, So it's cool. It's like this thing will kind of like do an internal audit, friendly audit. Not like when I worked for Landstar, they would just drive me crazy with, with those letters every month. Hey, you forgot to put in the date. Hey, you put the wrong town for when you were buying fuel, Or your math basically is not correct, where you were adding, minutes over there at the end of the day. And that's why I switched to Eclipse. I love that thing, Eclipse logbooks, but now unfortunately they belong in the past, because that just was a computer log, right? It's not connected to this. It's just something you do on the computer, and then you print it out. But it really helped me get rid of all the math mistakes, because the computer was doing everything, and everything looked very professional when you print it out. So that was like my intermediary step from paper logs to this. But now I feel like a very important person, I have this. See, it goes on the dash. And now what I have to do is, there's a serial number here. I have to go to the website, and right there, each time I log in, it tells me, you have one ELD, that you have to assign to your vehicle. Like I already put in my vehicle, you know, my driver, me, everything is set up except this. The serial number needs to be put in, because when I try to log in as driver from my tablet, and of course the first thing over there you see, it says select a vehicle, and I click on that, it says no vehicles, you know, even though like I said, I did everything on the website. The vehicle is there, but I guess without the ELD assigned, and maybe without the ELD connected, it cannot see it. And also, like, I really like the customer service from these guys. You know, they keep sending me messages like, I downloaded this app for my tablet, like the actual standalone app, which is free, right? Just keep tracking. I downloaded from the web, from Google Store, and I got an email this morning say, hey Sergey, we saw that you downloaded our app, but we see that you didn't use it yet. If you're not sure how to use it, here's like some you know, tutorials on YouTube. Click here to watch this, click here to watch this. You know, I like this, so I don't have to search too hard to find how to do stuff. And also I sent them a couple of emails, and they were pretty fast to respond, you know. So far my experience with these guys have been positive, but of course the most important thing is how reliable this thing is when I start trucking. My biggest concern as a driver, honestly, like I'm looking through all these videos and they don't tell you, like, my biggest concern is that how to avoid staying in the on duty when actually I'm not working, you know. Like I don't want to log, you know, let's say I'm loading and I don't want to spend like 6 hours in on duty, you know, when let's say I'm sitting in the truck waiting. And then if you move, you see, if you move in the yard, they give you an option. You can click on yard move, and then it logs you as on duty, non-driving, but it's still on duty, you know. You still lose, you know, those hours at the end of the day. And also they allow you to use a personal conveyance. Let's say I'll drive the truck to the sign shop, right? And I have no trailer. So I have no trailer and I'm just driving the truck to the sign shop. I don't know. Is it a personal conveyance or is it... No, probably not. Actually, probably that has to be logged as because I'm driving the truck for the purpose of, you know, signs which are required for trucking. So that's like a business trip, you know. But I think what they mean by personal conveyance is, yeah, if you go, let's say, if you decide to drop your trailer and just go buy some food or something, or go to a restaurant, then it's personal conveyance. So yeah, personal conveyance, that's the exception. I can use yard move, and then there's another one I forgot. There was another exception, but it pretty much looks like, yeah, this is the, I don't know, for me this is the ELD I chose. Anyway, about the truck, hold on, getting hot in here. It's the spring is definitely here. Like all the snow, well, there's still some very old snow, I see, but it's already black. So basically, I don't know, spring is coming, but they were saying that this week we can see some snow, you know, and some cold temperatures, but then it'll warm up again by the weekend. So today's Wednesday, so there can be a couple of quick brushes with winter, but all in all, see, I'm wearing a very light jacket. So I'm in Cambridge, Ontario now. And so yeah, the truck, the guy called me yesterday from the PTO shop, the guy that they're installing the PTO. Yeah, they called me Tuesday, and he says, can you come over here Thursday morning when we start working on your truck? And I said, wait a second, I thought the sales guy told me you will start Wednesday morning. And he said, yeah, that's what we wanted, but unfortunately we had a couple of trucks that we had to take care of. So, but he says Thursday we'll focus on yours, and he gave me the address where to go, pretty much very close to my hotel over there. And he says just be there at 8 o'clock. They want me to show them where I want to install the hydraulic oil reservoir, you know, that little tank. So the problem with this truck is that because I spec such a long fifth wheel slider, they didn't put any catwalk behind the cab, and actually there's no room, right? And I don't believe there's I didn't even see any steps, you know, like how do I climb over there to connect hoses? So I'll have to figure something out. And so he says they'll have to make a special bracket and just put that little tank somewhere between the frames, but they just want me to show them because he says we wanted to be happy. I said okay. So that's Thursday. Tomorrow, so 8 o'clock. So they'll start working on the truck, and I don't think it'll take more than maybe 1.5 days. So I think the truck will be ready Friday. And I'm already talking with the financial lady, and I said, so when are we signing this? Because I need that lease, signed copy of the signed lease in order to transfer the plates, right? I need the new title or ownership. Again, because the IRP office, the plate office, needs that. So I cannot do anything unless the lease is signed, right? And I already have my sign. I decided to go with the sign that I posted a few ideas on Facebook. So one of those is what I'm going with. I'm not going to tell you right now, but you'll see how it looks. I hope it'll look fine. But basically I want to keep it simple and stick to the colors that are already on the truck now. And as you probably remember, mostly it's black and chrome, right? The tanks like aluminum color, right? There's no white. So it's either that, and there's a tiny amount of red on the Kenworth logo on the hood. And then also there's some red on my trailer. But again, my trailer is all black, right? The only white is on the Fontaine logo, where there's a white outline on the red background where it says Fontaine, right? So I don't think I'm gonna use white, but you'll guys see. So I just need something simple that people can identify, you know, and notice me, but not crazy. I don't want to make the truck look like a Christmas tree, you know. It just doesn't look professional. I think you know, less is more. Just keep it simple. That's my idea. But it'll look a bit better than on the Mac, where I just use regular signs. I didn't use any background. So here I want to use a background for the sign, so it'll stand out more, you know. And another thing is that we finalized the flip box, the gooseneck extension. I sent 2 invoices to PACCAR Financial. I said, okay, here's the deal. I found it's the same piece of metal, right? I don't know, 25 inches long, but the actual 23, but of course there's some pins in there, so which increases my gooseneck to 125 swing radius from 102. I really need that for heavy loads, and if I don't buy it now, I'm not sure when I'm gonna buy it, and it can prevent me from picking up heavy loads, you know. So I wanted to do everything so I can start trucking and not stop like last time with the Mac, right? Where, like I mentioned before, where I had to wait for the flip, for the pusher axle, you know. So this is the truck. The truck is done. Everything is ready, including the most important part, 4 air horns. Love that. So of course, first drive, we're gonna do air horn test. Just find a bridge somewhere with no people with weak hearts or some heart implants around within 1 mile, and we'll do an air horn test under the bridge. Always do it under the bridge or in a tunnel. My personal recommendation. But again, you gotta check for sick people. Or zombies. Actually, zombies is a good thing because zombies just drop dead when you pull that cord. Actually, now I have to relearn everything, right? Now I have to use my right hand to pull the cord instead of before on the Mac. So this is going to be exciting. And so yeah, that's the plan. So the plan is, I don't know, if they finish Friday, maybe we can meet Friday with the sales guy and the PACCAR Financial lady and sign the lease, and then over the weekend I can start working on the forms that are required to transfer the plate. Oh, and also I need a letter from her that it's like a power of attorney saying that PACCAR Financial is okay with me plating this truck in my name. So the left part of the ownership or title will have their name, the right side, the plate portion will have my name. So I own the plate, they own the truck. Cool deal. And once again, it's gonna be, I haven't decided yet, either go, it's like super long lease, because the truck is so much money, but it's like $1 buyout at the end, so it's my truck. But I cannot use depreciation because I technically don't own this vehicle, so all I can do is just deduct the lease payment. And then I still get, the cool thing is that I get back the sales tax, because I'm in Canada and we have these and you guys in States don't. So let's say there's $300 sales tax inside that lease payment, the government gives it back to me after 1 month. Like I have to do a return, like I talked about this before. But anything I spend on the truck here in Canada, and like anything business related towards my business of trucking, if there's a sales tax, I get it back, not just as a write-off, but 100% compensation, you know. So which is cool, so which is going to help me stay afloat. And this is it. So I hopefully, so yeah, Monday, Tuesday I'll be running around transferring plates, and then just go to yeah, one last thing I have to do before I get the signs is install the, somehow I gotta hook up to the trailer and find somebody to connect the cable from the right-way gauge to the trailer suspension. Of course, it should be pretty easy, but I'm not that technically savvy, you know, mechanically savvy. So I'll ask these guys. Like tomorrow I'm going to this PTO shop, and I know they do all kinds of trucking services, you know, and I'll ask them if it's okay to bring the trailer so they can hook it up. And then of course I have to scale the truck, I have to measure all the distances. So I'm gonna write it, I have like a special file on the computer called axles and tires, and I measure everything, and I have all my axle spacings on my computer, and I write down all the tire sizes. So when I order permits, I have all this info, you know, and I can, or when I upgrade my annual permit for Ontario, it's like, it's really helpful to have all this, because I remember I lost that thing, or like the previous company where I used to work, they asked me like 3 times, oh, can you send us the axle spacing? I said, guys, didn't I send it to you like 2 months ago? Oh, I cannot find it. And so that's why you don't want to go out, especially in winter, and start measuring stuff, right? And then yeah, the signs shouldn't take too long. It's just that I gotta call them and give them at least a day notice, because those guys are always busy there. I'm gonna do the signs the same place where I put them on with the Mac. Very nice guys, very professional. The price is affordable. And then if I have the money, last thing I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go to Crown, starts with a K, Crown, and do a rust proofing under the truck. And you're supposed to do it every year, you know, to keep the truck looking good. I didn't do it on the car, and you saw the car started rusting. Even like car is less than 1 year old, it's already rusting underneath because of all the salt they put on the roads here. So that's a quick update. So I got, yeah, my ELD. The truck is slowly progressing towards the finish line, and hopefully sometime next week I'll be able to start trucking. So thanks for watching. Stay cool. Captain SERGEI out.